Wanderer, ABC, Paradox. It's more than a simple game. It's a connection to worlds unknown, where a single idea can branch out into infinite strategies, creating new decks from the one you know. I am GoldenHind. I am your guide through these vast formats. Follow me and ponder the question, how? Why? Today we will be exploring the beginning of a brand new Wanderer format. And such, my first list to present to you is affectionately named for the Wild West format that we are entering, A Million Ways to Die in the West, as this deck possesses many different avenues to victory. We will begin with the important card here being Crimson Frenemies at the farmlands of Rilia. This card allows us to begin the game with both Lunya, the Wolf Girl, and Lumia, the Fated Rebirth, in the ruler area, in exchange for having 6 goats, 6 Cthulhus, and at least 6 humans in our deck. In addition to no water or darkness cards. Now, let's begin with 4 copies of Dark Alice Rabbit Princess. This card does protect the graveyard, but is not incredibly relevant for that. It is instead used for its enter ability to simply draw 2, maintaining hand advantage, to help dodge removal by discarding or by banishing cards from the field, such as your own goat tokens generated by your extension rule to further your win condition, or to simply maintain advantage should something be targeted for removal. You can also, in addition, put valuable cards in the graveyard should that become relevant, such as Woe Willow, which we will get to her later. But for now, 4 copies of Dark Alice, the Rabbit Princess. We're also running 4 copies of Cecilia, Fire Punisher of the Solaris Order. She is a 1-cost with 4/4 in precision, which is very good already. But her enter ability, allowing you to destroy a token your opponent controls, in addition to drawing 2 cards and discarding a card, is also very good. Being able to willy-nilly blow up your opponent's goat tokens that you're generating for them is very good, as it also pushes you one step closer to victory. In addition, blowing up that token will also gain her an additional 200 attack and defense and swiftness until the end of the turn, making her pivotal for the strategy. We have 4 copies of Hestia, the 6th Olympian. This card has a lot of words on it, but the most important words on it are swiftness, and the fact that she says when she enters the field, she deals 500 damage to target player or J/Resonator. This allows us to have an extreme amount of reach, being able to use her for both spot removal and extra damage if need be. Not to mention, having swiftness and being able to attack the turn she enters the field also enables her to generate more tokens for us. Next, we have 4 copies of the 3-Eyed Black Goat Aurelia. This card says that whenever it enters, or a ruler you control deals damage to a Resonator, which will happen every time you attack, gain control of target non-goat Resonator another player controls until the end of the turn. If you do, recover it and it gains swiftness until the end of the turn, and then you take 200 damage. That only triggers once per turn, but that is a very good ability. It helps deal with problem Resonators by getting them out of the way, and also giving you an additional thing to attack with to generate more tokens. Additionally, it also has an enter trigger that will help you deal with problem regalia, such as Broken Mask of the Crusader. Very good. It also has a God's Art, which will allow you to put limit counters on anything that might have limit. Nothing in this deck does, except for your J-Ruler. And it does allow you to have a conditional board wipe. It's a very good card. Next, we have 3 copies of Rushing Dinosaur. One could argue for playing more than 3 copies, but I, alas, had to make room for a few other cards and such. I'm playing 3, as it is very good. When it attacks, it deals 200 damage to your opponent and each J/Resonator they control. Because when it attacks, you will trigger both its ability and your extension rule, and Lunya. You can then use Lunya to ping your dinosaur or something else for 100 damage, put a token into your field and your opponent's field, and then Rushing Dinosaur's ability will deal 200 damage to that token, 200 damage to your opponent, and continue to swing in for 400 damage. And it cannot be blocked by Resonators until it costs 1 or less. So this card is very good. We are running 2 copies of Nyarlathotep, the Crimson Radiance, as well. She does have limit. I neglected that. She does have limit, although she will very rarely touch the field. She is primarily here in the event that you wish to do Judgment with Lumia, as well as to meet the Cthulhu requirement for the extension rule. She does have some spot removal tacked on here, as well as the ability to play Fire Chance or Light Chance from your hand without paying their cost. This could be an effective way to skirt mask in the event that you need to play a card we'll get to in a moment. Next, we have 2 copies of Woe Willow, Shepherd of Saplings. This is a goat card, so it does help meet our goat requirement, but it also, in addition, can be discarded off of Dark Alice or Cecilia to repeatedly cheat itself in from the graveyard, as well as generate more tokens, which will become very, very large due to the amount of bodies we generate by attacking. She does have inherent protection built in the form of Barrier Blue-Black, which are both colors we're not playing. Next, we have 4 copies of Cthulhu, the Living Flame. This is a very old card, but being able to turn any card, including a goat that is rested, into another attacker is very good. It also helps meet the Cthulhu requirement for the deck. Next, we have 2 copies of Flighter, the Underground Fighting Arena. It's primarily going to be used for its pay red, reveal this card from your hand ability to put a 4/4 Fire Human Resonator token into the field. This, of course, will allow you to put things in at the end of your opponent's turn so that they can attack on your turn to help you generate more tokens. It also does have a bit of reach if you need to put it onto the field to cause each token you control to deal 200 damage to your opponent. Next, we have the best card in the deck, Shakti, Mercenary Queen. This is a 3-cost, 1000/1000 with Swiftness, Precision, and First Strike. Whenever a J/Resonator dealt damage by this card this turn is destroyed, recover this card. This card is very good, as when it attacks, your extension rule will trigger to put a goat token into your field and your opponent's field. Now, if your opponent already controls a goat token, or any rested resonator for that matter, because she does have precision, you can simply attack into that resonator, kill it, and then Shakti will recover to be able to attack again, which will generate another goat token. But this time you'll be attacking into the goat token that you just generated. This is an infinite combo that will allow you to win the game on the spot by quickly reaching 28 dream counters on your extension rule. We are also running 2 copies of the Tiger of Aradia. It does have Bloodlust, First Strike, and Barrier, making it already a decent card, but we use it primarily for its enter trigger, draw 2 cards. We do not really care about the rest of it, as, well, that's not entirely true. Whenever this card attacks non-Magic Stone entities with Eternal and/or Barrier, opponent controls lose all abilities in the opponent's turn. That can help you skirt the ability to not win with Shakti. If your opponent controls something such as Robometa, and you want to win the game, you have a Tiger of Aradia on the field, you can attack with it. Your opponent's Robometa will lose Eternal and Barrier, or Eternal or Barrier, depending on whether or not it has one or both. And then when you attack with Shakti, because it loses the Eternal, you will be able to destroy it and proceed with your infinite win condition. Not to mention the additional draw power, being able to flicker it every turn with Lumia is very good. We are running 1 copy of Raymond, Member of the 12 Sacred Knights. This card, in conjunction with Lumia on her J-Ruler side, is also an OTK. You can God's Art to reveal it from your hand and put it into the field. And when Lumia attacks, she removes a J/Resonator from the field and puts it back into the field rested. This will cause Raymond to trigger upon leaving the field to recover Lumia and draw a card. She will then be able to attack again, flicker him again, recover, draw another card, and be back able to attack. Again, another infinite combination. We are playing 3 copies of Explosive Performance of the Clown, because I have problems, and I deeply, deeply fear Starscale of the Dragonoids. We cannot deal burn damage. That severely harms our ability to wipe boards with Rushing Dino, or deal extra damage with Hestia. So we need to get rid of that card. We can also get rid of Mask or any other problematic regalia with this card. With the exception of, I believe, Grimoire of 1001 Nights. You can also, as I mentioned earlier, play this card over, or off of Nyarlathotep, Crimson Radiance, by awakening her for fire. And lastly, the other chant in the deck, we are playing 4 copies of Crimson Lies, Unison Dance. You can only play 1 of these per turn. It does have Remnant and Quick Cast, and you can play it for a single white will instead of 2. You can flicker a rested non-goat resonator and put it back into the field, recovered, or put 2 2/2 Fire Cthulhu Goat Resonator tokens into the field. This will of course help accelerate the win condition by having more goats on the board. Next, on our Magic Stones, we are playing 4 copies of Awakened Magic Stone the Earth. This is Lumia's Magic Stone. When she does Judgment, any copies of this you control will recover. We are playing 2 copies of the Crown Stone of Moonglow, because this does allow you to play Shakti as early as turn 2 or 3, so that she will have Barrier and be unable to be targeted whilst you exact your infinite attack combo. In addition, we are playing 2 copies of Magic Stone of Heat Ray and 2 copies of Magic Stone of Remnants. This, of course, allows us to produce green as well, which we will get to in a moment, as we are playing 2 green cards, 2 in the main deck in the form of Willow and 1 in the sideboard. Now moving on, we are playing 3 important cards here. Rogue Spectator, of course, not gaining life after we deal a lot of damage is very nice. Sorry, Lumia. Of course, I mean alternate Lumia. Our Lumia is good. Then we are also playing 1 copy of Replicant Shiva. This is our other green card. It is a board wipe, accessible from the side. And a Fire Pit Trap to help insulate against any shenanigans, as well as have a little bit of extra reach. Now our other cards are Mechanized Blade Dragon, which allows you to just for 1 single mana give an attacker of yours an additional 1000 attack. This card is flexible in the side. Hellfire the Demonic World. Sometimes you encounter a deck that has a lot of Eternal and or Barrier things, and you would like to get rid of them. This can be slotted in over Explosive Performance of the Clowns if you do not fear Regalia. Likewise with Girls Staring At. This can be slotted in over Explosive Performance of the Clowns. And lastly, Smokescreen Bomb. This says, on your opponent's turn, expel a fire card in your hand, kill all of their goat tokens. Or simply shrink their board by 200. Very good. This deck is extremely aggressive, and is much better than some people may have given it credit for. Please enjoy, try out, and do not fall victim to A Million Ways to Die in the West. Again, I am GoldenHind. I'll see you in the next video.